Welcome to Chris VEVE Journey, where I take you on a trip to VEVE, always as an adventurer, never as a financial advisor, so please invest with caution. So, yeah, I got a roadmap for today. So first I wanted to talk about my drop for Fantastic Four 21 and what was happening with all that stuff. What I think about the actual comic we got, plus some news, because VEVE just released the news about what will be happening with that. And after that, I want to take a little trip and talk about NFT comics in general. I think there are some pretty, tough ideas floating around. So I just want to give you guys not even an insight, but ideas about the whole comic industry. So, okay, let's start with my drop. Fantastic Four 21. I got 3 in the drop today. All were rebounds. So what happened was people were clicking, and you got the buy now, and you couldn't buy it because it broke up during the processing. So that happened many times. For some people, the whole app crashed. That really sucks. In my case, I actually got 3 pieces. I ended up with 4 comics. How? Well, the first 2 I got delivered were commons, no special mint, whatever. I'm Commander VV, I don't know. I always get the commons. So I looked in the marketplace. The uncommon was pretty cheap, 22 bucks. So I bought the uncommon. And then I got my last one, which was actually uncommon. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have bought the uncommon if I knew I would get one. But yeah, whatever. I don't think it's a bad deal. 22 bucks. I mean, come on. So we obviously had a lot of problems, and VEVE already addressed that. So in this tweet, oh, you can see it. Wait, let me change to the browser. So yeah, here's the tweet. Also, if you want to follow me, my Instagram tag is Chris is on VEVE. So the follow is appreciated, you know. So yeah, so that is what they said about it. They knew something went wrong, and they will make sure it's not going to happen for the next drop. So I would have been, yeah, pretty happy to see what else was going on. Yeah, I mean, why did it happen? That's the thing. I would have loved to understand why did it happen at all. Did they do something to prevent bots? Was it just an update or whatever? Yeah, that would have been nice. But okay, so we know what was going on. The second thing, what happened is we didn't get the comic we thought we would get. So we did have the cover, but the comic inside was a different one. So the comic inside was actually this one. So that's Ultimates 1, Superhuman 1. Superhuman is the story, Ultimates 1 is the name. So if you don't know, then you haven't seen my last video. So you might as well go back, watch my last video. But if you don't want to, I give you a quick update. So what I told you in the last video already is that the Ultimates is basically the Avengers in the Ultimate Universe. So the Ultimate Universe was something created in 2000, went from 2000 up to 2015. And it was a new way to approach all these heroes, have them a little bit more modern, and switch some stuff up to make it easier to access the books for new readers. More or less created by Brian Michael Bendis. It was a nice idea. In 2015, we had a big event called Secret Wars, and some of these characters were brought over into the regular universe, like Miles Morales, Spider-Man. That's why we have 2 Spider-Man now. And yeah, but it was thought that the Ultimate Universe was destroyed, but it actually wasn't destroyed. That was established in 2017 by Brian Michael Bendis in his Spider-Man 2 and Man with an E miniseries. So what we got is Ultimates 1, and Ultimates 1 is kind of the story how Captain America came into our time. It's only about Captain America. I mean, maybe you've read it, but I guess you didn't because people on VV don't read comic books. So I was really interested about the idea what was happening because we don't know. There's 3 explanations. Explanation 1, they get the comics from Marvel, Marvel messed up. That would have been a boring explanation, but it also doesn't make much sense because they already have their own program and their own app where they distribute digital comics, so they basically have the comics on lock. So maybe it's a third-party company that handles that and they messed up. That is even more boring, and that could have been happened, so who knows. Third idea is VEVE messed up, and this is weird. If they messed up, that would mean they have this other comic. They have the Ultimates 1. And then the question would arise, why would they even make the Ultimates 1 available? I mean, if you look at it over at eBay, this issue isn't worth much. It's roughly $10. And no, that's all the paperbacks even. The only single issue I found was this one. And this is from Great Britain. That's around $10, not even. So I was looking for graded copies and I found this one. That's a graded copy that went away for $250, but it was actually signed by Mark Miller. So Mark Miller is pretty known. If you know Jupiter Legacy from Netflix, that's from Mark Miller. Also, Old Man Logan, Wolverine is a Mark Miller story. So yeah, the guy's pretty known among comic fans, and yeah, 250 is more or less because of his signature. And then I found one that was, oh, I go too much up front. Where is it? Ah, that's the one. So here is one that was sold, a simple 9.8 book, $27. I mean, the grading almost costs more than $27, so yeah. So the book isn't worth much in general. Why is it there? I mean, it's not even like there's anything special going on there. If you have the paperback, it makes sense. You could say, okay, there's a pop culture moment because in the Ultimate Universe, Nick Fury was black. He wasn't black in the main universe, but he was black in the Ultimate Universe. And there was even in the paperback from 2002, they actually talk about it, and he's asked who should portray him in a movie, and he actually says it should be Samuel L. Jackson. That's almost 10 years before we saw Samuel L. Jackson portray him. So that would have been a reason to actually have that book as an NFT because it's a great moment. But yeah, we don't. So I'm just thinking about, why does VEVE own already so many Ultimate comics? And I always have the feeling they know stuff. Like they know stuff about Marvel, like they are really connected to Marvel and know what's going on. I can't even tell you, it's more of a gut feeling I have ever since that Ben Reilly thing happened. So they really push the Ultimate Universe, like Ultimate Fallout 4. That makes a lot of sense because it's the first appearance of Miles Morales Spider-Man. Of course, that's a great book. But Fantastic Four 21, that's also Ultimate Universe. And then we have the Ultimates 1, Ultimate Universe. And then I was thinking about the MCU. So the MCU is pretty much done with the Avengers because, I mean, it's been 10 years. Some of them are too old. Some of them are way too expensive to have them in further movies. But there would be a possibility because the next movie is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, they could actually visit the multiverse and the Ultimate Universe. When they visit it, they could potentially bring in a new Captain America, a new Thor, a new whatever, Iron Man. And they could be from the Ultimate Universe, and because of that, that could be different actors. And that would be huge. And that would make all these books spike in physical and in NFT form. So that is, I don't know. It's a gut feeling. It's nothing. Don't listen to me, but I have the feeling they know stuff. And that they might even know what's going on there. I don't know. It's just a feeling. Pretty weird. But why would they have these books? I mean, what books do they have already? That's so interesting. I would love to know what's going on behind the scenes. Please, VEVE, let us know. Let us know what's going on. I need to know. Okay. So, whatever. Next topic. There was a tweet about that also, no? Right? Yeah. They also said in this tweet that we get the book, and they are appreciative for our feedback and patience and so on and so on. So yeah, the next tweet will be a little bit later on. So let's get next to the video. So, okay. What else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the NFT comics in general, because I see a lot of people talk mainly in two colors, and that is black and white. And I know black and white ain't colors, but you get the idea, right? So you have on one side, or in one corner, you have the people that think everything is super, super expensive and will explode and go to the moon. They think that regular commons are going to break the $100, $500, $1,000, $10,000 mark. I don't know. And I would love to be wrong, because it would mean I would get rich as hell. But I don't know. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's realistic to see those prices for commons. I don't. Even if people stack them in hundreds and keep them away from the market, I don't know if you have actual collectors going for it. And one of the big problems we have right now, there are no collectors on VEVE. Yes, no collectors on VEVE. And this is just how I see it, but the way I see the market move, and I see like the regular collectors market, they don't know about it. Because I don't hear any big outlet, any big influencer talk about it. None. Everyone who talks about it doesn't do anything else with comics. At least haven't hit my radar yet, and I'm a big fan. So, who are the guys on VEVE? If you ask me, we have at least 80% just flippers and NFT people. None of them are even in the pop culture bubble. Because if we had the pop culture people in VEVE, that people that love to go to cons or whatever and really love movies and really love the 80s, and I don't know, if we had these people, we wouldn't have any DeLoreans in the marketplace. None. And I know they say the DeLorean is inflated, there's so many pieces. No. Hell no. It's the DeLorean. Come on, guys. I don't know. If you ever cared for pop culture, then you know the DeLorean is the DeLorean. There's nothing above it. You can have Knight Rider. Nobody cares. Give me the DeLorean. I want a time machine. I want a DeLorean. That's the one. That's the one people want. I had a DeLorean here. I sold it away because I didn't know where to put it. There was a time I didn't know where to place my DeLorean. It was so out of place because I'm so much concentrated on comics and spaceships. There wasn't a place here for the DeLorean. So that's why I sold it. Got something else. That I can have the DeLorean as an NFT now is such a blessing. And I'm not even exaggerating. I feel blessed that I still can have a DeLorean, a nice 3D model. Looks great, awesome. So now I have it. I'm not even mad anymore that I sold my DeLorean. My physical DeLorean. I had it, it was fun, and now I got the NFT, and that feels great. So, and if you had the people that go to conventions, that take pictures with the DeLorean, those are... Look, if you don't care for comics, you can care for the DeLorean. If you're a manga guy, you care for the DeLorean. If you love Freddy Krueger, you love the DeLorean. So that's the thing. If you really... Basically, if you're kind of into the pop culture market, if you're a guy that loves mugs with some pop culture stuff on it, you will buy the DeLorean. Even if you just get the comment for $30. But $30 is nothing to get the DeLorean comment. That thing would sell like what? I don't know. It would just sell. And you would have like 50 in the market. Okay, that's exaggerating. But you get the idea. There wouldn't be many in the market. And surely not for $30. I mean, you can try to change my mind. I won't actually argue with guys because or with people in general, I'm not the one who argues. Most of the time I listen, and sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm talking a lot. But usually I just listen. And I'm not doing any discussions, because discussions is only about who's winning the discussion. I don't do that. I don't do fighting online. It's stupid. So no ego here. I love to listen what you guys think. And if you have some valid points, love to hear it. Love to think about it. But in my opinion, there's barely any people, and real collectors, real pop culture collectors, like real comic collectors, not even 10%. I'm sure. I see how the market moves. Nah. People that have read comics before, yes. People that sometimes read comics, yeah. People that really collect comics? I don't know. I don't think so. Not enough to move the needle. Not at all. Like today, that we saw today, that was really... I mean, I was talking about the guys that think every comic has to explode. And I think that's the wrong idea. What we saw today was people thinking we had enough comics already. We hit the mark, like that comic is not interesting. We don't need that one. No, that's black and white. That's black and white. We need grays. We have so many grays. The comic market in general is gray. There are so many comics in between the dollar bin comic and the 3.6 million Spider-Man comic. There's so many difference. So many stuff. And people miss out. There's a lot of people that miss out. And there's a lot of people that are stacking comics that I don't think will be worth as much as they think. I still think every comic in the market is going to rise in price. They all will rise at one point. Because we're still in the early stages. These are still the comics that came first. We're not even 50 comics books in. So we're still in the top 50 comics that were released, the first 50 comics that were released. Those are historically important. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the comic collectors market is going to be one-on-one on the comic market. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I know we have a new breed here. So now we have just flippers and some people interested in comics, maybe. But this is like 80% flippers. Sure, these are NFTs, crypto guys. They don't care about the content. Not at all. Nobody reads these comics. Because people talk about the utility of the comic. There's no utility there yet. I tell you guys, I haven't read any of the comics. And I love reading digital comics, but I don't read on the VEVE app. VEVE app crashes. Reading in AR sucks totally. It's cool to have the AR function, but it sucks to read it. And the reader itself is not as advanced as the Marvel, DC, or Comixology or Kindle readers. All of them are better. So they need to get to that level so that reading the book is comfortable, makes fun. At that point, they really have the utility. At that point, it becomes even more than just a collectible. And that's important. That is really important that we get to this point. And look, an idea I had. So, people are saying they're not as interesting because only the super rares will be special because they are about to bring points in the MCP. And I get that. And they say we don't get whole sets. But look, I'll show you something. Talked about something like this before. That's a paperback. So this is essentially a few books, at least 6 issues. I think this one is even more. So there's no utility yet because you only get one book, one issue, and one issue usually doesn't have a complete story. And VEVE wants to keep up with the pace, right? They want to sell 2 comic books a week, which makes sense. It's not too much. So how can they bring more utility? How can they bring more of a collectible? How about they bring something like House of X? So they have issue 1. The whole book, House of X, it's House of X and Powers of 10. So that's 12 issues. All these 12 in a paperback. So people collect the first one. Let's say they collect all of them, all 12. They would basically have around 10 that are not very interesting as a collectible. But maybe if you have all 10, you get that one. You get the big book. You get the complete story. So there, you get, first of all, you get utility. You have the whole book, you have the whole story. That's utility. If you get a good reader, you have utility, you can read it. Also, you only get this if you have the whole collection, if you have all the issues. I mean, if they give you the whole book, I guess that should be worth much in the marketplace, because you can only get it if you have all the issues. Right? Should be something that is quite rare. Okay? So that's the utility what I'm talking about. That is what they could do. That's why you were supposed to even buy the books that are not so great in the beginning. Because maybe they have something in store. I really hope they do it. If they don't, then I'm smarter than VEVE at this point. But I don't think I am. So that would be something. Now, with that in mind, what I just said, I'm going to show you guys something else. We just heard some news. This is funny, they actually do it. This is what they just announced. Powers of 10. So if you don't know, you read House of X and Powers of 10 back to back. So you read House of X 1, then Powers of 10 1, House of X 2, Powers of 10 2. After that, I get it gets mixed up a little bit, but in general, you could read one after the other. So it's one story. So what's really interesting about this book, I'm really interested to see how House of X1, the secret rare, will rise now. Because the secret rare here is Powers of 10 secret rare. And it's actually the second cover you need. Because the first cover, the House of X secret rare, this is connecting cover. Both covers, they make up one image. So having both is awesome. It only sucks because it's a secret rare and I don't own it. I would so love to have that. It's not so expensive in physical form. In a good grade, I guess around $100. I don't know, I'm not sure. It's not so super expensive. But yeah, having the NFT, having both, that would be great. So if this was common, uncommon rare, even if it was ultra rare, I guess I would go for it. It's just a secret rare, I'm totally outpriced. But yeah, so I think House of X was one of the comic books that wasn't pushed much. It only had going for themselves that they were kind of the first X-Men book they had as an NFT. So officially the first official NFT comic book from the X-Men. Yeah, interesting. But now that's special to have that other part of the book. That is so special. Yeah, I can't get. It's so awesome. It's really, really awesome. Really, really awesome. Okay, so I drifted away a bit. So the point was, think about, there's a gray zone in comic book collecting. There is a whole bunch of comics. There's not just 10 or 20 comic books that are important and everything else is useless. No, it's way bigger. If you want to know how big it is, go here. Cgc Census. So I showed you the graded books, right? So the grading company is Cgc. There's basically two grading companies, Cgc and CBCS. The whole market, it's basically those two. There's others, but those two are basically the whole market. And Cgc is the one that grades a little bit harder. It's harder to get a 9.8 with Cgc, but that's why people trust Cgc a little bit more. So you have this here. It's called the Cgc Census. You can register, it doesn't cost anything. So you register on the page and then you can look for books. So, and if you want to know how many books there are, these are the search results when I was looking for Batman 1. Right? Did you know there were so many Batman issue 1 books? Those are all Batman books that have an issue 1. And these are just the Batman books that have an issue 1 that are registered here, because there was a point they were graded. There might be more. Though I think every Batman issue 1 has been graded at any point, I guess, I'm pretty sure. So, and let's look at this. So this is All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder. Did you know this book exists? if you watch this channel, I'm pretty sure you didn't know this book is existing. You don't know what the story is. So it's pretty known comic book because it's written by Frank Miller and the art is by Jim Lee. I love this book. I totally adore it. A lot of people hate it, but I adore it. But with so many people hating and adoring it, let's see how many 9.8s are here. 1,371 9.8s. And that's just the general ones. Then we have the signature ones. So all in all, it's 1,560 and 5. It's a book from 2005. 1,500 books graded. You did see the list before, right? Right, this big list. So this list, and we have 1,500 graded 9.8 just from that. You're trying to tell me there's only 20 interesting comics in the world? Maybe 50? That's the one you need as an NFT and everything else is not interesting? I don't know. I don't see that. So, and don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to come off cocky here. It might look like it. Because it's really late. I'm really exhausted at this point. But I really want to make this video. And all I want to do is give you guys some insight and make you think. Because I don't have answers. I'm not going to tell you what you're going to do. Not going to tell you where the prices are going. I'm just giving you ideas. Some perspective. And I hope you can work with that. I hope you can find answers working for you and that make you successful in what you're doing. So in total graded 2,100 books with all the other grades. I mean, some poor soul had 1.6.0. That's really bad for a book from 2005. So here's the retailer incentive edition. That's a special edition of the book. There's 531 graded, right? That makes 2,600 roughly graded from that one book. So don't get me wrong. I mean, this list is long. It doesn't mean every book has so many graded here. Like here, some won't be graded at all. I mean here, Batman Strikes from 2004. That sounds weird. I don't know this book. So that has only 13 graded books, right? It's not every one of these books is awesome. But that's what I mean with there's a gray area, a big gray area. It's not black and white. It's not totally cheap and totally expensive. There's a big range. So in this All-Star Batman and Robin book, that goes for around $100 on eBay if you have it in the 9.8. Depending what edition, depending if it is signed or not, but roughly $100. So if you get a comment and you get $100 for that, that would be super awesome. Do I think that books as a common would be $100 worth to collectors? I'm not sure. I would say no. I would say it would settle a little bit lower. I would say it would settle around the 50 mark, 40, 50 mark. But this is totally speculative. That's the word, right? Speculative? Speculative, I guess. So, you know what I mean. So that's the thing. What I wanted you to know about how does the comic market look. So that's the first thing. The first thing is don't do black and white. Think about all the gray areas. You can make money with gray. You can have a lot of fun with gray. It's also not just about flipping. For most of you it is, I guess. But I mean, there's opportunity if you like the content. Like if you like comics, you can love comics. And if you fell in love with comics, you know comics. And if you know comics, then you know there's opportunity there. I mean, look at the House of X and Powers of X one, right? That's exactly what I mean. Like there's opportunity if you know. If you already know there is the Powers of 10 book and that would be the second part to the secret rare, then it's interesting because now you know, right now you know House of X, Powers of 10 is coming with the secret rare. And if you didn't know if you want to buy the House of X secret rare, it's pretty much time to get it now before it starts to rise. Or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't do anything. I don't know. We will see. That's the point. We need to wait, and we kind of need to wait until we have a lot of pop culture and collectors in the market at all. Right now we don't have them. I still think we have a maximum of 200,000 users on VEVE. I don't think all these numbers are right. I really think realistically 100,000, maybe 200,000, and that's all. Everything else, I think it's either bot accounts or second account, third accounts. People do accounts for their children, for their mother, whatever, to have more chances. That's my opinion. Which is actually a good sign. That means there's a lot of room to grow. We can get way more people in. That would be interesting to see. So, what was the next thing? Utility. That was what I was talking about with what VEVE needs to do. They need to work on the utility of the books. But I guess I talked about enough about the utility part. So, pop culture in general. Yeah, there's something I want to show you. Look at, where is it? Yeah, World's Finest 153. So why is this comic important now? It's especially important for the NFT space. It would be the right time to have this released as an NFT. Why? Do you know this image? Pretty sure you know this image. That's such a popular meme. So this image is from this comic book. Right? You open up this comic book, you see that. You show this comic book to someone who doesn't know comics, and he's still laughing about this image. So the thing is, in 2016, this thing had a sale for $50, right? It's not important. Even if it's an old book, nobody cared. There's a lot of that. Old books that are not very costly. So $50 in 2016. 6.0, that's a mid-grade. Was just sold again. $400. Almost 7 times as much. Or almost 700% increase. That's the word, not 7 times as much. It's late here in Germany, sorry. So, yeah, you get it, right? Like this is pop culture, meme culture, influencing the price of a comic book. This is not a key issue. There's nothing interesting happen there. It's basically just the fact that we have a meme that is going around that is so popular that this book really makes numbers. This is 6.0. If you have that in a high grade, if you get that in a 9.8, which is really not very possible, but maybe there's some floating around that would be a few grand easy. A few big grands easy. So that's interesting, right? Yeah, about numbers. If you think 40,000 books are not much or 60,000 books are not much, Detective Comics 1000. So that is a big book. Detective Comics 1000 2019. That was a book that was released with 1 regular cover, 8 variant covers, a blank variant, and various store variants. Sold 600,000 copies. Like, this is a really, really big mega event. I got like 3 or 4 different versions of this book. And it was the top selling book in 2019. They sold 600,000 units. Right? If you say the most important comic in 2019, which arguably is one of the most important comics in the last few years because it's the 1000th book of Batman. Number 1000. That's really a mark. So that sold 600,000, 600k with so many variants, right? Do you think you get 40,000 people to pay 1k for a common? That's the big question. Like I said, there's a lot of gray area. I think some people are so wrong with thinking that everything is, that they are just 5 comic books or 10 comic books or 50 comic books that are important. And I think some people are really, really wrong when they think comments are going to skyrocket into an area where they cost thousands. I mean, with the right mint, obviously, if you have the right mint, that will be so special. But yeah, I don't know. And if they do these paperbacks, and these paperbacks, like if you get them and they are like a secret rare, and maybe at that point these will also count as sets for the MCP, because right now comics are, there's no way to have comics and have them as a set. But if you collect them and you have a paperback, that would be a set, right? That would be just right to have it as a set. So that would be interesting. So the last thing I want to talk about, licensing. How important is licensing? And I got a pretty easy example. So, yeah, that was the book here. So this is my favorite artist. I love Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi is my favorite musician ever. Coolest musician ever. I don't know. I could go on and on. I'm not going to bother you with that. Do yourself a favor. Listen to some of his Man on the Moon albums. It's just glorious. Such a great guy. So this artist here, Hip Hop Cult NFT. And look, I'm not dragging Hip Hop Cult NFT at any point, right? I'm just stating my opinion. Not going to diss anyone here. So this is an NFT he did from Kid Cudi. And we can look at the NFT right here. And right now it did actually sell, right? It's loading. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So right now the price is 0.1 ETH, roughly $420. And it did sell before. I did see a sale. Where was the sale? Expired, list, minted, offer. Weird. I thought I saw a sale for 0.02 ETH. That's interesting. Weird. Okay. So I thought there was a sale. Maybe I saw something wrong. Okay. Yeah. So why is this just so cheap? $400, right? It's Kid Cudi, one of the greatest artists ever. And I mean, he's a platinum artist. That's what I mean, basically, when I say it. He's such a known artist. This should be more expensive. It's not expensive because it's not a real licensed piece. Here, again, Kid Cudi NFT. The artist, oh, that's the thing. There was different NFTs I was talking about. Okay, this one has sold before, right? Yeah, this one was 0.02 ETH, has been sold. And now the price is 1 ETH. $4,200 respectively at the current ETH price. So, also, not licensed, not official. This has nothing to do with Kid Cudi. I don't know if he even knows if this exists. Probably any right infringement involved also. I mean, this is basically selling as Kid Cudi NFT. This is not really a, let's say, yeah, any kind of message on the current culture or anything. I just don't see it. This is just 8-bit artwork that we see all over the place with NFTs, and that's my problem with NFTs. I don't think we have good art in NFT form. Like all over the board, I see really bad NFT art. And this is from someone. Look, I'm creating comics now. I have been working as a photographer. I have been doing CGI stuff. I was working with 3D programs. I did a lot of Photoshop stuff. I did paint, draw, whatever. So I basically touched anything. I sculpted, I don't know. And everything I did, I was looking to do good craftsmanship. That was important, to really know what I was doing. The fine art scene, that's why I don't like it. You have people that try to be creative and they never care about the craft. Or not never, that's the wrong thing. But you have people that don't care about the craft. And they can be pretty successful if they can sell their art well. If they can sell themselves well. The art doesn't have to be good. And that's why we see a lot of stuff. And that's totally happening in the NFT space right now. Like, do a great artwork, come on. But that's pretty... I also see that on VeVe. There's stuff where I think, come on, you could do great art if you want to sell for a high price. That's what's happening here. So totally not dissing the artists here, right? This is just my opinion. I just don't think it's... Like, this is easy. This is just some color stuff going on. And it's just 8-bit artwork and could be whatever. You basically have to name it Kid Cudi to make it... to make you seem like this is Kid Cudi, right? So if this was... But if that's the thing. If this was a licensed piece... If this was a real licensed piece, it really was together created with Kid Cudi, I'd be into maybe buying it. Right? That's the thing. Because it's official. I would go and buy it. I think there was one real Kid Cudi NFT. I saw it way too late. But I didn't find it yet fast enough here. But yeah, if that was an NFT, I would be in it. I would have liked to buy that. Because it's official. Because he's involved. That's involvement. That's important. So I want to see that. And that's really the thing. Right? To have them involved. And that's why I think licensing is so important. And that's something I see people not thinking about enough. That's what makes VeVe so great. The licenses. They already have it. At some point, OpenSea and all the others, they will get restricted. People will go in. I don't know if it's going to be an algorithm or if people will go in themselves and they will say, hey, that's my image, take it off. And then it will be gone. Maybe they even put that on the buyers, that the buyer has to check if it's a licensed piece. I don't know. But I don't think that we will see this going on forever. That everyone is just using anything. I mean, there's a lot of Spider-Mans here. I don't know. Can I enter Spider-Man on OpenSea? What do I get? Right? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. A lot of Spider-Man stuff. And look, nothing of this is original. This is a scene from the animated show. And all this, I can tell you where this is from. This is basically an image from the video game. And just changed. Okay, it's $6. It's nothing. But it's still copyright infringement and basically stealing someone else's artwork. That's all the stuff here. It's just different. I mean, hell, look at that. That's basically the promo image. Come on. That's so bad. That is so bad. So, and I think all of this will go away at one point. I mean, this is different. This is something doing art. That's actually art. This is not just stealing someone's idea and making stuff up. Oh, there's even comics. Look, 1 ETH. 1 ETH. What the? Come on, guys. Spider-Man 5. 1 ETH. That is a joke. That's actually a pretty great comic though. But yeah, it's not the comic. It's even, I mean, look at the, can you see the light? Those are photographed with the cell phone. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so bad. Please don't fall for that. But that will be the big difference. See, that is dirt. That's cheap as hell. That is so weak. And that's why VeVe will rule in the comic space. For real collectors. Oh my, I can't watch this any longer. I mean, come on. Oh, let's see. Right? Let's see that. That is awesome. That is art. Hey. So I guess that's it. I guess I talked about everything. Like I said, I don't have any answers for you guys. I just have ideas for you guys. So, I guess I touched anything I wanted to talk about. So if you like this, I don't know. I guess it was long. It was pretty long. But if you like it, leave a thumbs up. If you think I got something terribly wrong, let me know. I don't know if I told you guys that before, but I'm not saying I'm the comic guy, I know it all. It's not what I'm saying. Totally not. Just giving ideas. I know this is NFT, this is different, but both parties are wrong if they think it's just that. It's not just comic collecting, it's not just NFT. We are creating a new breed here. And in time, this will change up drastically. We still have a lot of people that can't wrap their head around the idea to pay for something digital. While kids nowadays know nothing better than paying for digital. All they care about is buying the new skin, buying the new upgrade, whatever. And we will get people from the NFT space interested in comics, and they will fall for it. So we will have a whole complete new scene, and we need to see how this turns out. But I see so many people thinking black and white here, which is just not the case, right? That's all I'm saying. So don't go in the comments and tell me you got it wrong. This is not the comic world. This is NFTs. I know. I'm pretty aware. I'm just saying it's also not just NFTs, right? So like I said, thumbs up would be nice. Thumbs down, not so much. But you can tell me all your thoughts about it. I'm really, really interested to hear your thoughts, right? If you're really a collector and you're in it, or if you intend to be a real collector and you don't want to flip too much, let me know. I wonder how many people are there. If you're a flipper, let me know also. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just, I think people totally don't understand how many people on the app are just in it for flipping. That they come from the crypto space, from an NFT space, and they have no idea about art or comics or whatever. Pop culture. Pop culture, not art. Art is different. There are quite some art people potentially in there. So that's it, right? That's the video for today. So since I already had all the news from VEVE for today already in this video, I don't know if I'm going to do a video tomorrow. Maybe. If I do, I see it. Let me know. If you really want it, just tell me. You have about, let's say, 20 hours. Yeah, you got roughly 20 hours. If in that 20 hours people say they really want a video, I'm going to make a video. Give me an idea for a video and I'm in it, right? Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I hope you guys were really lucky in the drop. Let me know what you did get in the drop. Are you happy with how VEVE handles it? Would you rather have kept the misprint? Or are you cool with it? So let me know. And I hope to see you guys soon. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider it. Come on. I'm usually not talking that much. I try to be shorter on that, but I thought today was a good day to talk about all this stuff. So I'm out here. Bye bye, guys.